Hi, I'm Paris, and I've got a couple automotive product reviews here for the end of the week. First up is an aftermarket tire pressure monitoring system. I didn't even know they made these. I thought you had to have it pre-installed in your car. But no, they have come out with a way of special sensor caps that you put on each of the valves, and they communicate wirelessly with a device you have plugged into your cigarette lighter. You can monitor the exact pressure and temperature of all 4 tires.
Epic Review Guys.
Thanks to Yokaro for sending out this model for me to try. Now we have a Honda minivan that does have the tire pressure monitoring system built into it, but it doesn't give you much information. You get a little symbol on the dashboard of a deflated tire, and that tells you one of your tires has low tire pressure. You've got to go out with the gauge, test all 4 to see which one it is. This, though it's an aftermarket product, gives you so much more information than what's built into our Honda minivan. And it so happens we have an 06 Accord with about 250,000 miles on it that doesn't have the TPMS system, so I'm going to add this onto that. You can find out more about this. It goes for around $70 at the link down below this video. Now I'm not sure on the Honda minivan exactly where the mechanism is that does the pressure measuring. I assume it's just inside the valve, just inside the wheel, so I'm guessing it communicates wirelessly with some component in the minivan, and that's where it transmits the data, which gives me the little yellow flat tire symbol on my dashboard if any of the tires are below about 26 pounds per square inch. This system from Yokaro is going to have to do that externally, so I think one of the concerns is since the devices will basically be your valve covers on the tires, that they could get stolen. If this device goes for around $70, each of these costs around $10 to $15. And I think this is a special wrench that you use to attach them so that they're at least very hard to remove. Here are a couple of the sensors. These screw onto the valves of your tires, and you can see they're labeled so you'll know which tire it is, and that matches on the monitor. And on the inside, you're going to put a hex nut actually onto the valve first, and in conjunction with a little tool, this will snugly attach these and make it much harder for them to be stolen. Here's the monitor. This is the piece that will plug into the cigarette lighter and be powered by that. There's room on this screen for the 4 tire temperatures as well as an alarm in the middle in case one of them gets too high or too low. This round piece is actually to open up the sensors when you need to replace the batteries. They each have a tiny battery in them. And here are the hex nuts, some extra washers, and the special tool you'll use to attach them and to remove them. Now this Yokaro system is programmable, so you can choose the PSI you want for the alarm low pressure setting to go off and for the high pressure setting. I didn't realize that. I don't even know if the minivan has a high pressure setting or what it should be set for. However, the defaults programmed into this, if you don't go in and change it, the high pressure setting is 44 PSI, low pressure alarm is at 29 PSI. That seems a little bit high because I think the minivan's set for 26, but I think the proper tire pressure is 32, 33. Anyway, I will be checking that on the little placard on the door. And the system will also monitor the temperature of your tires. I think it's set for 70 Celsius for the upper limit alarm, which is 158 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what temperature my tires should normally be at, but I know that if they are underinflated, you drive at highway speed, a hot day, they get really hot, and then that's when you're at risk of them giving out. First of all, I'm supposed to put the monitoring device into the cigarette lighter, turn the key to accessory. And though I have the 4 sensors in my pocket, they're not registering. I think there's a deal that it's only when they sense that there's pressure, like the tire pressure, that activates them to wake up and send the signal to this device. But in any case, this should be plugged in and ready first before attaching the valve covers so they can report in and communicate with this once they're installed. Okay, I've got the left front sensor, and I thought I'm going to check the tire pressure here first so we can see the accuracy of this once it's registered inside. Yep, going to need some air soon. So the first thing is to screw on this hex nut onto the valve. Next, the sensor gets screwed on. Oh, there goes some air. I guess I just keep turning till it's snug. Doesn't screw on too far. Okay, at this point, I assume it's not leaking, and that is one of my concerns, that there might be a slow leak with this, but I'll check that out and see. Now I'm supposed to use the included wrench to tighten the hex nut counterclockwise. I think I can do some of that with my finger. I see, I'm going to snug it up against the back of the sensor so it's on there tight. That's the idea behind it, I think. That's the security to make it a little harder to steal. Okay, it's on there pretty snug. Came back in to see if it registered, and it sure did, 28, which is exactly what I got when I measured it out there. And in the center, the little symbol means tire pressure is low, because the low is set for 29, and actually it is kind of low. I'm going to have to put air in the tires. Just finished the left rear tire, and now I've got a beep. I think there's a button I can press to pause that. Okay, it's quiet now. I just tested the right rear. It's at 29 psi. I'm going to grab my tire pump and put air in at least these right two tires now, then install the rest of the set. I added air to the tires on the right and put them both at 30, but they're showing both here as 29. However, they're not signaling the alert. These two are. That front left one at 26. It seems like it's losing pressure. I'm going to go check on that. My plan is to put them all at 30, leave the low pressure alarm at 29, and then it will let me know if air is leaking simply by having put these on. And to take it off without releasing that hex nut in the back, it just doesn't want to go. So that's a good thing in that people can't easily come up and remove these. Could be a bad thing if you don't have your hex wrench with you when you need to take this off. So I guess I'll be keeping this in the glove box. With the hex nut loosened and moved back, comes off pretty easily. I wonder if I lost some air trying to get this on the first few times. Maybe that's why it dropped down to 26. But in any case, let's see what it shows now. 27.5, which is what it showed before out here. I wonder why it's showing so much lower inside. In any case, putting this up to 30, see what it shows inside. Half this color is the heat, half this color is frustration. I've been trying to get this so the tires would all be at 30 and add a little more, take a little away, back and forth. 29, 31, 29, 31. Now I'm thinking that it must measure natively in the metric. I don't remember what the unit of measurement is, but the standard for tires is like 2.5. So it's not nearly as graduated as it is in pounds per square inch. So I think it's going from like 2.5 to 2.6, which in pounds per square inch is from 29 to 31. I'm thinking I can't get this to read 30 for that reason. So all the tires are set at 29, and that's what we're going with. Start it up, and right away it talks to the 4 sensors, gets the measurements. Here's what it looks like on the tire. Sticks out a little bit. It weighs about 9 grams, I think, so hopefully it won't upset the balance too much. This is on the left rear, the right rear, and the right front. All right, all of the sensors are currently showing 29, playing together nicely. Time to go for a little drive. I expect to see the pressure go up. Okay, I've driven about a mile, and one of the tires has jumped up to 31, which just confirms my thinking that there is no 30 here. Now we've got 2 at 31, 2 at 29, none at 30. A little more driving, and we got 3 31s and a 29. Does seem to be working correctly, except for the fact that it skips over 30. Second press shows me tire temperatures. Does make sense that the front tires would be hotter. They do the steering. Well, the Yokaro tire pressure monitoring system isn't perfect, but it works. And I don't know of any other do-it-yourself way of adding on this feature to a car that didn't have it pre-installed at the factory. Thanks again to Yokaro for sending out this set for me to try. About $70 online. Find out more about it at the link down below this video. I'm going to leave it installed on the car, and in a week or so I'll put an update on Twitter at EpicReviewGuys and see how the tire pressure is doing, just to make sure that isn't an issue, that the tires do stay as inflated as before I installed this. There's another automotive product review coming tomorrow. You can keep checking back for that, or you can click the subscribe button and the bell next to it. You'll get notified when my videos go up. See you on the next review.
Epic